hate it when ex-boyfriends try to contact me. Oh well. I'm Elaine, and the heroine of today's film is a beautiful witch on a quest for true love who keeps casting her love spells in all the wrong places, despite all the eligible bachelors out there.
Hi, girls.
I'm talking about The Love Witch, written and directed by Anna Biller. Released in 2016, but the film feels way more like 1966. Lovely Samantha Robinson stars as Elaine, the witch of the title. After an amicable divorce, hey, I can't think of a healthier way to end a relationship. Closure, clean slate. So after taking out the trash, Elaine moves to atmospheric Eureka, California, where she moves into a tarot card themed apartment in a gorgeous Victorian mansion with her fabulous 60s wardrobe in tow. She spends her days painting, eating cake, making candles to sell to a local Wiccan store, and casting love spells. Elaine is totally living teenage me's fantasy life. Except she's way more into whiny dorks, and I've always preferred Sigma male loners.
I'm hip.
Elaine's a woman with one thing on her mind.
Love me. Love me. Love me.
She uses love magic on unsuspecting men to lasso her a Prince Charming so she can live her fairy tale happy ending.
You know, I've been studying parapsychology, and I understand men so much better than I used to.
Unfortunately, these dudes turn out to be duds.
No woman has ever given herself like that to me before.
Life has been tough, huh?
And let's just say they're not strong enough to handle Elaine's magical intensity.
It's a shame.
That is, until she meets a handsome, square-jawed cop.
Hi, I'm Patrolman Harry Sledge.
No, she wishes. This handsome, square-jawed cop.
For my future card, I got the Knight of Wands. Always felt that if that card showed up in a future reading, I'd soon meet the man that I'm going to marry. The man that I marry has to love animals. Do you like animals, Griff?
Why, yes. I love animals.
Has Elaine finally found her Mr. Right? Or will he be another victim of her insatiable love magic? Anna Biller said her inspiration for the film came from reading a relationship help article advising women against loving a man too much. She said the idea of smothering someone with love struck her as a particularly feminine form of aggression and reminded her of Gene Tierney's character Ellen in one of her favorite films, Leave Her to Heaven. A Los Angeles native who's as glamorous as her film heroines, Anna Biller's mother was a fashion designer and her father was a painter. Biller stated, "I grew up in LA and I've been so affected by it. Everyone works in the industry, everybody is an actor or writer, and there's a kind of glamour and artifice everywhere." She majored in art at UCLA before achieving an MFA in art and film at CalArts. A cinephile from an early age with a love of Hollywood melodramas, she's repeatedly said she wants to make films that represent female fantasies and visual pleasure for women. This is exemplified in the iconic tea room scene, awash in Victorian glamour and cupcakey peaches and pinks. It's not only beautiful, it's practically oozing estrogen off the screen. And it's a reminder my wardrobe really needs a big hat. Anna Biller's training in fine arts and appreciation for glamour is on full display here. I am completely head over heels in love with how this film looks. It already had my heart being shot in a beautiful facsimile of Technicolor and opening with a rear projection driving scene. To call this movie gorgeous is an understatement. The New York Times described The Love Witch as a hothouse filled with deadly and seductive blooms. The film is like a giant decadent slice of chocolate cake for your eyeballs, washed down with a rich glass of red wine. While filmmaking is ordinarily a collaborative effort of creative sensibilities, The Love Witch is a rare film that reflects a singular vision and sensibility. Anna Biller not only wrote, directed, and produced the film, she also edited, sewed costumes, did a majority of the production design, painted all the film's artwork, and composed the music. Seeing all the meticulous detail and personal expression that went into it really deepened my appreciation for the film. In modern Hollywood, where everything is made by committee, a film that's a personal creative vision like that is unbelievably refreshing. That said, I'll also give praise to M. David Mullen for the outstanding cinematography and makeup artist Emma Willis, who designed Elaine's signature makeup look with Anna Biller. The Love Witch is a heady brew of its influences. Old Hollywood melodramas, Alfred Hitchcock, Jacques Demy, Mario Bava, giallo films, and I think there's even some Fassbinder in the mix too. While some other filmmakers live blatantly from their influences and their movies end up feeling more like mixed CDs,
all right,
The Love Witch is its own unique concoction. My one critique of the film is that it starts to sag in the middle. I think it couldn't hurt the film to trim about 15 to 20 minutes off its midsection, but I can understand with all the meticulous personal touches that Anna Biller put into it, why she wouldn't want to kill her darlings. Much in the vein of some of its influences, the film has a very arch, mannered acting style. If you can't get into the film's groove, you won't enjoy it, but if you're like me, you'll love every minute of it. And I've got to talk about one of the big keys to The Love Witch's success. Gorgeous Samantha Robinson and a fantastic performance as Elaine.
I'm the Love Witch. I'm your ultimate fantasy.
That's right.
Anna Biller initially liked her for the role because her voice had a musical quality, but also a preciseness of attack, since Robinson was raised in England. On Samantha's second audition, she performed Elaine's seduction dance. Biller observed that Samantha had a reserved, self-possessed quality that reminded her of Catherine Deneuve and Marlene Dietrich. On her blog, she writes, "The other dancers were trying to be seductive and pleasing, which took something away from their power. But Samantha was a real witch, seeming to give everything, but in fact giving nothing." Biller was also impressed that Samantha was also a cinephile, remarking, "When we watched movies together, she did not think like an actor, but a director. Her view of movies was not filtered through the typical narcissism most actors have. It was an expansive view, not a self-centered one." I just have one question. Why is this lady not a huge star? Probably because Hollywood's only interested in making things that cater to stupid people.
You big dildo. Eat your fucking slop.
It's too bad, because I think she's amazing. She's like if Audrey Hepburn had an evil sister.
So I was a bad girl.
In my Super Vixen show, I talked about how that film expresses male anxieties about women. Since The Love Witch is from the female perspective, this film expresses female anxieties about men.
But I should have known. He's a Pisces.
Much of Elaine's fantasy life and ideas about love come from fairy tales.
Being here is like being a princess in a fairy tale.
Do you have fairy princess fantasies, Elaine?
Of course. We may be grown women, but underneath we're just little girls. Dreaming about being carried off by a prince on a white horse.
Elaine's a romantic at heart. It unfortunately just comes out as psychopathic. The Love Witch expresses the disillusionment of sensitive young women who have very romantic ideals about love. Then when they start dating, are hurt to find out a lot of young men are only interested in sex, or have no ability to control their emotions.
What a pussy. What a baby. I thought I'd found a real man, but he's just like a little girl. No one was ever there for me when I was crying my heart out. No one ever comforted me. No one.
Elaine takes it to extremes, but I think The Love Witch taps into the female fear and frequent disappointment that her potential romantic partners may not have the same emotional capacity for love that she does.
I used love magic on him. And he got really weird on me. All these emotions started flowing out of him. And he got really sick.
Well, guys can't handle their emotions too well. That's why they don't like heavy conversations. It was probably just too much for him. All the love and the great sex that you were giving him.
I guess that's what it was.
In many films, the beautiful woman is an ideal or tragic figure, or often both simultaneously. In addition to its love of glamour, The Love Witch also articulates the double-edged sword of beauty and the dark side of being a beautiful woman. While beauty is almost always seen as a blessing, beautiful women can often feel like their true selves are not really seen or even dismissed.
New places, new people, and new sites interest. You know, that's what I believe in. Seeing America first.
You won't find it down there, Columbus.
And they frequently feel like they're being treated like an exotic animal that people are trying to throw a net over.
How you doing? Look, I didn't mean to seem forward or out of place in that restaurant or anything. There's no reason for your sister to get carried away like that. Just wanted to say hello, introduce myself. Rich folk. fashion photographer. You know, Vogue, Cosmo, the layout of Atlanta now, Belinda and the zebra skins at the Plaza Fountain. You know my stuff. It's been all over. Hey, wait a minute. Just a second. I just want to talk to you. See, I'm a photographer. I'm a gourmet of beauty. And when I saw you in that restaurant in that light, I said to myself, wow. I mean, it was like a Renoir or a Matisse. And that's why I wanted to talk to you. No other reason. I mean, when I see beauty, I got to go after it.
In an interview with Filmmaker magazine, Anna Biller said, almost any woman who's grown up pretty, it means something to have to negotiate that in the world. What it means to be hounded, judged, criticized all the time for that. How do you negotiate an authentic self as a woman? It's very difficult. A lot of girls who seem like they might be crazy or sociopathic or just stupid, they're actually trying to negotiate all that and they may not know how. And that's what drives them insane. In another interview with No Film School, Biller adds, there's a kind of schizophrenia that women experience in our culture. A weird way that you distance yourself from yourself, and you become just an image for other people.
You have two selves, dark and quiet, that you show the world. Who do you give that to? The rainbow.
I give the rainbow to you. Right? Now.
Watching Elaine, she strikes me as one of those women who's read too many new agey self-help articles as a quick fix for trauma she's experienced. I'm not sure how much help people actually get from self-help articles. They mostly end up just talking about their authentic self and their journey a lot. Elaine's quest for a fairy tale romance stems from childhood trauma, particularly her emotionally abusive father.
What? You're not crazy. Well, if you're not crazy, then you're stupid. Which is it? Are you crazy or are you stupid? And you could lose a few pounds. You're looking a little fatty.
So desperate for the unconditional love that she didn't get as a child, she strives to find it in a romantic relationship. Abuse having damaged her sense of self, she adopts the identity of the ultimate fantasy femme fatale, not because this is the kind of woman she wants to be, but because she believes this is the kind of woman that will prevent her from being rejected and abandoned. She ultimately equates being desired with being loved.
What I'm really interested in is love. You might say I'm addicted to love. I wonder if all women feel that way.
The men under her spell dissolve into lovesick, sobbing messes. She's turned the tables on them as they now find themselves in the role of the clingy, over-emotional, jilted woman. While the viewer can empathize with Elaine's need for love and her disappointments with potential partners, Elaine's view of love is also selfish and immature. Her goal is to be loved, not loving another. There's still too many women whose self-worth and identity is tied up in being part of a couple, believing since that this shows they were chosen, that they have more value.
What a load of shit.
Elaine is playing a role in a relationship rather than forming a genuine connection, adopting the affects of the perfect loving girlfriend, regurgitating lines she's probably read in women's magazines like an actress performing a script.
That seems like quite a problem. That's because she doesn't understand you. I understand you perfectly.
She also targets a potential suitor and, rather than getting to know him to see if they're compatible, tries to stuff him immediately into the role of romantic leading man she needs him to play. Of course, this does not go well. With her overly flirtatious behavior, her theatrical mannerisms, rapid shifting from idealization to devaluation in interpersonal relationships, lack of empathy, and her self-centered belief that her friends and suitors are all just supporting characters in her own drama, Elaine demonstrates traits of histrionic, borderline, and narcissistic personality disorder. But she makes it stylish.
What sort of person are you, Elaine? What sort of sick mind would do such things?
Why are you so negative?
The aesthetic and style of the film also illustrates Elaine's psychology, as Elaine has constructed a fantasy world for herself where she's the star of her own movie. And in the end, when confronted with a choice between fantasy and reality, she'd much rather stay in fantasy. Oh, I think that's something most creative people can relate to. And speaking of fantasies, one more thing. Anna, can we please have the prequel with Elaine as the San Francisco burlesque dancer first getting involved in the coven and then she starts murdering some of its members? I am dying to see that. If you're interested, I've linked Anna Biller's blog and her YouTube channel below in the description. Hopefully someone will give her some more money to make more glamorous movies. Next month, we're going from saturated glamour to the grime and sleaze of 1960s New York. Another trio of films about the battle of the sexes. You could say these two are all about romance, since they were made by the lovebirds of exploitation filmmaking, Roberta and Michael Finley. Next month, I'm talking about the Flesh Trilogy. But until then, pleasant nightmares.